go ahead and start laying down. If you would like to use a bolster to do that supported, you certainly can. You can even roll a blanket and just have it be along the spine for a mild chest opener. But I would definitely recommend being supine, so just being on the back. So you're adjusting whatever prop you're using in the way that feels good for you. Taking your time to get comfortable. And if you notice that when you get into a position, it just doesn't quite feel right, take the time to adjust. Whether that means that you end up laying completely flat or on your side, that's fine too. Just get comfortable. We're going to kind of come full circle with this practice, starting in a Shavasana-like state and then ending, of course, with a Shavasana. And as far as the legs go, if you'd like, you can stretch them out, really opening up all of the meridian lines. Or if you'd like a little bit more comfort and safety feeling, you can let the feet come wide, the knees come in, and even place the hands over the low abdomen. So try and keep the collarbones broad and open to create some space for the breath. When you feel ready, let the eyes close. And notice your breathing. If there's ease, or maybe it's a little more challenging, try to not let yourself be either judgmental or even stressed about what it is, just noticing what it is, and trusting that the body can breathe, and that you can deepen that breath. Allowing the muscles of the face to continue to relax, softening the forehead, the corners of the eyes and nose and mouth. Deep breath in through the nose, feel the chest rise and expand. Exhale slowly out the mouth. Feel your rib cage begin to knit back in and down toward your center. Feel the back side of your body get heavier, more supported by the ground. And now continue this with your own rhythm, breathing in fully, feeling the expansion in the front side of the body, even the sides of the body as the rib cage gets wider. And then a really slow but firm exhale, very consistent and steady, until the exhale is complete. With each exhale, feeling the body relax, become more and more supported by the earth. Muscles of the face and arms and legs continue to soften. You continue breathing. As you feel ready to continue the relaxation of the body, begin to introduce a pause before you take your inhale after the exhalation is complete. Suspension of breath. So now 3-part breath, really helping the parasympathetic nervous system get turned on here. So inhaling fully. A slow and smooth exhale. Noticing if there's any catches or rough edges. Trying to smooth those out. And a brief pause. And then breathing in when the body tells you to breathe in. Letting this be very intuitive. Building some trust between the mind and body connection. That you know when to breathe. That you can breathe. Noticing where you feel tension and stress beginning to soften. Feeling where the breath begins and ends in the body. And trying to spread that out wider, further corners of the body. And continuing your breathing, begin to notice the thoughts in the mind. mind is busy, that's okay. If there's nothing in particular, that's okay too. Allow this to be a time of reflection, even on the past week or 2 weeks, without judgment or positive or negative feelings, even just pure facts. Removing emotion if possible. Taking inventory of what's been happening, what is yet to happen, and just noticing what arises within you. And then coming right back to the facts. And using positive affirmations if helpful. And with this, begin to think of an intention. How would you like to feel? Either during this practice, or as a result of it, or maybe letting that intention spread beyond the practice, the day, the week, or longer. And even thinking about the choices that you all need to make to be accountable for that to happen. What kind of grace you need to give yourself, what kind of space. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a sigh out the mouth. Begin to move through the ankles and the wrists. And now start flicking the fingertips like there's water at the ends of the fingers. Just bring some energy. Fingers first, and then you can wiggle through the toes and do the same. We're going to keep the energy low, but we do want to stir the energy that's present in the body in case anything is stagnant. If you have bent limbs, this is a good time to go ahead and open up the hose, those meridian lines. So go ahead and stretch your legs long and maybe even reach the arms overhead and get a full body stretch. Let the rib cage lift and flare. Deep inhale, feel the navel rise. Exhale, low back sinks a little heavier to the floor. Gently hug the right knee in towards the chest. Noticing if intuitively the body really just begins to want to move through that hip. If so, stirring it around. If not, if the body's asking for stillness, just hold still, either squeezing a little to provide some pressure, or pulling the knee away from the torso, finding a little bit of stretch in the shoulder joint. As long as the backs of the shoulders, back of the head stay heavy and relaxed on the floor. And no matter what you're doing with that leg and hip, go ahead and move through the ankle and toes, just to find some mobility. I would suggest pointing and flexing, but for some, rolling it feels good. Just know that that may not be as great long term on that joint, so pointing and flexing is a little more functional. Try to stay centered with that breath, long, smooth exhales. And now extend the right leg up into the sky, sole of the foot towards the ceiling, hands behind the thigh. Bent knee as much as you need, push up through the heel, stretching the backs of the legs, at least the back of the right leg. Then you can point and flex. Do an IT band stretch now. Go ahead and flex through the ankle, pulling the toes back towards the shin, and then cross the big toe over the midline. So now it's in line with that left shoulder. And then gently pull the toe as if you're trying to pull it up and over that left shoulder. Hopefully you feel a little bit of intensity from the outer right hip down at least towards the knee. If not, you can cross it over a little bit more and then bend the knee and provide just a little bit more pressure towards the abdomen. Feel free to move through the ankle if that serves you. bring that left foot flat on the floor. We're going to cross the right foot over the left leg. We're going to release the piriformis now. It can help the low back. So if you'd like, you can keep the legs how they are. Just press the right knee gently away with the right hand, or grab behind the left thigh. Looking for sensation, perhaps the outside of the right hip. If you'd like to begin stretching through the left hamstring, you can begin to extend that leg long, pushing up towards the ceiling with the heel. Just be aware of how that right hip feels. If you'd prefer to have more intensity in the piriformis stretch, the external hip, go ahead and just hug around perhaps the front of the shin. Let the upper body be heavy. Stay in tune with the breath. Just beginning to get some energy moved through the body. Get the muscles woken up a bit with some stress in them by stretch. And then we'll do more static holds, and we'll get into some more meditative styles. Go ahead and release. Left foot down, right foot down, wide on the mat. And then just tip the knees to the left and the right. Windshield wipering them as slow or as quickly as you'd like to do. And then we're going to do the other side. So the right foot flat, left leg up in the air. Hands behind the leg. Hamstring stretch. Mobility through the ankle. Noticing as you point the toe, the stretch at the top of the foot. And as you flex, the sensation through the back of the leg. Giving the muscles time to get used to the stress and to open up, to feel safe. And now flexing, pulling the toes back towards the shin, crossing over the midline, and then pulling very gently. Again, feeling some sensation along this area right here. Coming back to center, and then crossing that leg over the right leg, or the foot over the right leg, I should say. Finding our supine deer pose, often called supine pigeon, but technically it's a deer pose. Pressing the left knee away, just helping to externally rotate the femur. And then from here, go ahead and grab behind the right thigh, noticing what you feel on the outside of the left hip this time. If you'd like to give the back of the right leg a little more stretch, go ahead and extend the foot up towards the sky, pushing up through the heel actively. You can move the foot or not. Just allow that left knee to continue pressing away from the body. We don't want it coming in, away. If this isn't your jam, bending at the right knee, perhaps intensifying the external left hip stretch by coming to the front of the shin of the right leg. Again, the head and upper back is heavy and relaxed towards the floor. Not straining any neck muscles to make this happen. decide what your body is immediately asking for. Is it more windshield wipering? Or is it Uppanasana, maybe hands to knees, hugging the knees in and then pulling the arms straight? Maybe circles, stirring, tracing the outer edges of the sacrum on the mat beneath you. Doing whatever it is the body naturally is craving because it knows what it needs. There's a lot of wisdom built in. We're going to go in towards our first yin posture, which is going to be a supported supine Baddha Konasana. So, Supta Baddha Konasana. What we're going to do is I would encourage you to get pillows behind you. I'm going to use a bolster. If you need a little bit more prop as far as elevation, I'll demonstrate that. Take a little recliner chair. And then you can even use a blanket under the ankles, which is what I'm going to do. Just like this. And I'm going to bring my heels in closer. So it's going to be soles of the feet together, knees apart, collarbones wide, shoulder blades together behind you. You can even let your hands come to the floor, lift up your sit bones, and notice if you want to push your pelvis towards your heels or pull your heels towards your pelvis. Make any adjustments you need to make. Hands can be to the belly, to the floor, or you can use blocks to rest your forearms on. Really taking your time here. And as you feel ready, letting the eyes close. Notice if you're holding tension around the eyes. Sometimes when we close them, we almost grimace closing them. Try and just soften. Gravity is just letting the lids fall. Reconnect to the breath. As you inhale, feel expansion forward, wide, and then also up and down. Now, as you feel expansion forward, you may also feel pressure into the prop behind you. Let that happen. So inhaling, getting bigger in all directions. And then exhaling, everything just gently coming back in together. I like to think of those like science toys from when we were a kid that when you grab it, you can pull and it expands in all directions. It was kind of rainbow colored. And then you can kind of squeeze it back in and it gets back into that ball shape. Think of that as your rib cage. So inhaling all directions, exhaling smaller in all directions. And that's the physical element of this posture. And what we're going to do mentally is called a Gatha meditation. What I'd like you to do now that you have this really strong but purposeful breath established, I'd like you to use it for something very positive, something that feeds life into you. So with the inhale, silently repeating to yourself, I am. And with the exhale, anything positive about yourself you can think of. And it can be easier to think of the big things first. But the goal here is for each exhale to bring a new positive attribute that you hold to be valuable, special, something that you like about yourself. You can start with being kind and hardworking. And it can even end up being, that you have good taste in socks, or that you make really good pancakes. Anything at all. What we're doing is we're using this to feed positivity into self when we have so much negativity around us all of the time. So inhaling, I am. Exhaling, whatever you can think of. And then using that brief pause, that suspension of breath, to really let that soak in, to feel stillness in the body, yet also movement of life in the body, the heart beating, blood flowing, and also perhaps even think about the next positive attribute that you can say with your next exhale. For example, I'll start inhaling, I am. Exhaling, continuing on your own. If you get stumped or it's hard to think of something, you can reuse the one you just used or one you've used previously, but really put conscious effort here into finding something new with each breath, because there are that many positive things about you. Sometimes we just tell ourselves that there's not, but there absolutely is. I'm keeping track of time so you don't have to. Just stay with this Gatha meditation. Noticing whatever there is to notice in the meantime. Changing thoughts, perceptions, feelings. Welcoming them all. Allowing your focus to be on the things that are positive about self. Three more full breath cycles. That means 3 more full positive affirmations of self. Allowing the legs to stretch long, slowly, one at a time. You reach the arms up towards the sky. If it works for you, you can interlace the fingers and press the palms to stretch the insides of the fingers. Full breaths in and then sighing out. And then we're going to move into a closed knee child's pose from here. So take your time to transition. If you would like this to be supported, go ahead and use a support. If not, what that's going to do is it's going to give you a little more stretch through the low back and through the gluteal muscles. So just noticing what you need. So knees together, big toes together. You can even think about pulling the belly back, up and in. As you hinge and come forward, as if you're pulling your low rib cage away from your hips to expand and pull the rib cage towards the knees. If it feels good, let the arms extend. If that doesn't feel so good, you can bring the elbows next to the knees, forehead down, or even hands back towards the feet. Just notice what feels good for you. If you've been rounding your back a lot lately, I'm going to recommend the forearms down and the elbows next to the shoulders, or under the shoulders next to the knees, or the arms extended, and then let the underarms press down towards the ground. Get a little stretch in the tops of the shoulders that way. And as you're here, notice how breathing feels. What's the change? Can you breathe more into the back of the body now that that's where the space is? So as you inhale and expand in all directions, this time you feel the space for expansion behind you, and you feel the resistance, the press against something with the front of the body towards the legs. fill the backs of the lungs. If stillness feels good for you, stay still. If you've got a little bit of wiggles or things feel a little bit stiff, go ahead and either wiggle your hips like you're wagging your tail. You can rock like you're on a boat side to side. You can rub the fingers. Even pull one shoulder back a little as you pull the other one forward. Experimenting, getting creative and even playful. And a pose like child's pose can be really great for the brain. We're not going to be here for much longer, just a couple of more breaths. You'll notice right now a lot of our hoses, our energy lines, meridian lines are kinked. So what we're going to do is we're going to counter that, and we're going to stretch forward, belly down, into a Sphinx pose. So as you're ready, looking forward, coming forward, forearms down, belly down, tops of the legs down, in the Sphinx pose. If you need more rest, you are welcome to place support under the rib cage. Now, if breathing feels constricted, I would recommend just staying on forearms. If the supported version feels good for you, go ahead and do that. You can Goldilocks it a bit by giving some support to the head, by letting a block or pillow come under the forehead, and then just tucking the chin. Collarbones are spread. Now this is more restorative in this way, more yin-like if there's not as much effort. If you want this to be a little bit more energetic, heart forward, spread the fingers, pull the forearms back as the chest comes forward and tuck the chin. Making this a little more active, a little less passive. Bring attention to the hip flexors. They're now open. If you'd like to open them just a little bit more, you can tuck a toe and then tuck the other toe. Maybe even lift the knees. Just notice what that does for you. If you'd like even more still, the knees can come back down, and maybe the hands come in, a hand step closer, and you begin to straighten through the arms. Now they're not hyperextending and locking out, but they're straightening. Heart is still forward, elbows hug in. More of a back bend. If you squeeze your butt, then you're going to feel some muscles of the posterior chain engage. Again, this is kind of a pick your own adventure. Decide what it is that you need from this type of a shape. If even the Sphinx feels just a little too intense right now for you, what could be extremely helpful is just stacking the hands, tugging the chin, and making a pillow for the forehead. Bringing the shoulders away from the ears and staying here just like this. Here we're going to do another low back release by using half frog. So if you're on a prop for Sphinx, go ahead and come off of that so that you're just on the floor. We're going to start with the left side. So go ahead and come all the way down to your belly. Cactus or goalpost the arms. Turn your head towards the left and then begin to bring the left knee up towards the left elbow. Not saying they're going to touch, they're both at 90 degrees, but just in that direction. And allow the body to feel like it's melting into the floor with the exhales. Making sure the airway's open, you can breathe. If you need to breathe through the mouth, breathe through the mouth. Nice slow exhales regardless. One of our shorter holds. So go ahead and straighten the left leg. If you need to bend the knees and windshield wiper the heels, you can. We can do some big circles. And then we're going to do a couple of minutes on the other side. That was our 2-minute hold. We'll do the same for the other side. So turning the head now towards the right, and then drawing that right knee up in the direction towards the right elbow. Letting the rest of the body really just soften. Let gravity do its work as you relax your muscles. So you send breath, prana, life force throughout the entire body to every corner. Perhaps even imagine that breath that you're sending is light. The body begins to glow. And straightening the leg, maybe tapping the feet or windshield vibring the shins and ankles. And what we're going to do is we're going to make our way onto our back now. If that's easier for you just to kind of tuck and roll from where you are, you can. I'm going to press up, swing my legs around. That way I just am kind of reset to where I'd like to be. Now, depending on how you've been sitting recently or even laying, very possibly you've had a lot of posterior tilt of your pelvis, which is rounding in the low back, which goes against the natural lumbar curve. So we're going to give just a little bit of time to counteract that. I'm going to do a guided meditation while we do so. So this is going to be a supported bridge. I'm going to use a block myself under my sacrum. You can use a rolled blanket, rolled towel, pillow, whatever works for you. I just like a block because it's pretty stable and it just is shaped nicely for the sacrum. Finding the level that works for you. And you're welcome to extend the legs if you want a little extra stretch and opening through the hip flexors to keep the knees bent, or even to get more internal rotation of the hips if you want feet wide, knees together. Really, the option is yours. If you'd like a blanket placed over your lap for some comfort, feel free to do that. As you feel ready, tuck the shoulder blades beneath you so the collarbones are broad at the front of you. Hands to belly or to the floor. Deep breath in and a deep breath out. anything that's at the back side of your body. Everywhere where there's contact, so the floor, the prop. And then letting your awareness rotate and shift to the front of your body. Feeling where maybe there's contact with your own body onto your body, the weight of fabric, the temperature of the air. Just becoming aware. Noticing the sounds that you hear. Anything else that your five senses is letting you know is happening in the present space, in the present time for you. And I'd like you to begin to imagine your calm place. In iRest, I would call this the inner resource, but you can just think of it as your calm place. We're going to get a little creative with it. Yes, it can be somewhere that you've been before, if that's what you'd like. It can be somewhere in nature. Or it can be a room. Imagine that money was no object, that there were no barriers, and you were able to build a room that nobody else would ever have access to, only you. And you could furnish it and decorate it and put anything in it that you could possibly ever think of or desire for comfort. Now, if you prefer to be outdoors, build your perfect scenery, and it doesn't have to make sense. There can be snow and palm trees and a beach and a river. Just add in all of your favorite things that give you emotional satisfaction and comfort, but let there be an underlying current of extreme safety and security. That when you're in this place, you know deep in your bones that nothing bad can happen. Because this place was built just for you. And I want you to begin to let this place become more real. Use your five senses to do so. Adding in sounds. For example, if you're in a cozy room and there's a fireplace, listen to the crackling of the fire. If you're outside by a river, listen to the babbling sounds of that river. Maybe the sound of a breeze through trees, anything at all. And then add in smells and tastes. Add in sounds, more objects to really look at in detail, more vivid colors. And last but not least, add in feeling of sensation. What is there to touch? Can you feel a breeze? If you're indoors and you're warm and cozy, can you imagine that cozy blanket that's covering you? Feeling the texture, run your fingers along it. Letting this place be dreamlike almost, because it's so perfect just for you. If you wish to have other people in this space, instead what I invite you to do is place pictures of them around. Because this place is only for you, but you can bring in loved ones, even pets, by putting pictures on the walls. If you're somewhere outside, maybe by magic now there's pictures hanging from branches and trees that you get to love. Maybe they're wind chimes with pictures. But again, this place is only for you, and you feel extremely safe and peaceful, replenished here. I'd like you to imagine that now, as you look around, you see a really unique looking bottle. Maybe you pick it up off the floor or ground or out of the water. And inside, there's a blank piece of paper and a pencil. I'd like you to imagine unrolling that paper, grabbing the pencil that feels so good in your hand. And I want you to write down all of the things that are causing you stress or anxiety or worry at this time. I want you to imagine seeing the words as you write them in your own handwriting on that paper in a list. And as each one is written down, you can feel the weight of it from your body and mind be transferred into that little scroll of paper, no longer held by you and your body. As if it's magical lead in that pencil, just transferring all of the weight, that worry and stress, to this piece of paper. Taking your time, searching your mind and heart for everything you can quickly write on this paper. As you finish writing your list, I'd like you to look to your right. And suddenly you see a hot air balloon. It's small, it's not a big hot air balloon, it's small. If you're inside, you see it just outside of a window. If you're outside, it's magically next to you. There's a perfect basket where you can place this bottle. So you roll up the paper, you stick the pencil back in, you seal the bottle off, and you stick this bottle into that basket. And the moment that you do, that hot air balloon begins to float up and away into the sky. And then you take a seat where you lay down. If you're inside, somewhere you can still see the window. If you're outside, maybe in the grass or sand, you begin to watch it float up and away. Perhaps off to the left or right. And you watch it and you watch it. And the further that that hot air balloon gets away from you, the more relaxed and at peace you feel. Till eventually that hot air balloon is just a dot in the far, far distance. And what you're left with is a physical sense of peace, of resolution. And now that dot has disappeared and you're back in your calm place. Notice what you see around you. Notice what your favorite elements or favorite items are of this calm place. The physical felt sense that you get when you're here. Remind yourself that you can return to this place anytime, day or night. Whenever you need to feel safe and secure, peaceful and at ease. Because this place is only for you and only you have access. As you feel ready, get yourself up. Whatever position you've been resting in this calm place, begin walking. Walking until the scenery around you changes. And you can sense yourself back in the room to which your physical body is currently laying. And then feel yourself back in your body. Feeling your arms and legs, torso and head. Feeling the breath move the body. Press weight into the feet. Lift the hips up and roll the spine down, connecting to the floor. Then stretch the legs long and stretch the arms long. Deep breaths, letting the entire abdomen feel change. All of the internal organs get massaged by this breath. Notice your comfort level. If you'd like to stay where you are, or perhaps roll onto one side or even onto your belly. If you'd like to lay on one side, using your bicep as a pillow, maybe bending at the knees 90 degrees, and letting the eyes close. And again, just scanning the mind, imagining the mind as this big, open, blank space, even sky-like. And then suddenly a hill appears, and you're sitting on a hill, and you look down and there's traffic, cars. Maybe they're cartoon-like, or maybe they're real. If you're looking at a real highway, notice the pattern of traffic, how fast the cars are moving, how many cars there are, yet you are completely safe at a distance up on your grassy hill. I want you to begin to notice what each of those vehicles driving by this highway represent to you. Perhaps each car is a thought, feeling, emotion, a worry, physical symptom. It can be anything. And just be an observer, watching them come and go through your awareness. Allowing yourself to observe without feeling the need to run out into traffic and interact with these thoughts, to interact with these things. Instead, you can just welcome them on the highway and then watch them drive off. Feeling empowered in that opportunity and ability. Just as we can let our thoughts really ruin our day, we can have a bad mood or bad perspective or outlook, so too can we let our thoughts build up our day into something really, really great. It's all about choosing which one of those cars we interact with. There's a specific car that's positive to you and helpful. Maybe you wave it down and it begins to pull off to the side of the road. You can interact with it or keep it. Maybe it parks safely, but the rest can keep going. You have the choice and you have the control. Always. It's okay to want things to be different, to change. It's good, it's improvement. But letting your happiness and your joy depend on that happening can be dangerous for your happiness. As you feel ready, imagine that whole image of you being on a hill and the cars and traffic just begins to get kind of squiggly and wavy, begins to disappear. And you're back in your body. I'd like you to once again find yourself coming onto your back, this time looking for props that help you be very comfortable as we move towards Shavasana. Shavasana, without effort, without energy or life. Not meaning that you are dead, but meaning that there's no effort that it takes sometimes to really be alive. So instead, we just get to let our body be supported, our energy to be low, and our cup to get refilled. So finding a position for your physical body that helps your emotional body relax. Letting it be a reflection. So the stillness of the physical body begins to be mirrored in calm and space in the mind. The mind will never be empty. But it can be calm and it can be helpful. So just allowing yourself to find a space where the body's comfortable and the mind can feel some ease. Slow breaths. It's helpful if the mind feels busy. Once again, finding your Gatha meditation. Inhaling I am. Exhaling what it is that you are. Filling yourself up with true loving kindness. Begin to feel your body. I know it was a short Shavasana. I want this to be a gentle reintegration back. So just feeling the body, allowing it to stay still, to appreciate that stillness, and to feel the life in the body in that stillness. Again, noticing thoughts, noticing tone of thoughts, energy. Becoming aware of what is just there. It's what you've got to work with today. And what can be shifted or altered to help you. Choosing what there is to choose and accepting, or at least acknowledging, what just is. Awareness is power. As you feel ready, bring the tiniest movements back to the body. So small they may even be hard to see. So small they might even be hard to discern if you're actually moving. Coming back to your intention. Affirming it now. Deciding if you'd like to keep it with you for the rest of the day, or if you'd like to alter it in some way. And if so, doing that. Nothing in particular is coming to mind. That is just fine. Begin to let your movements get bigger. They're now visible. You can really feel them. Imagine that each movement is inviting in energy into the body. Not just energy, but positive energy. Connection. As you breathe, feel connected. Everyone else who's also breathing. Even the trees move and breathe in their own way. So even if you're feeling alone, knowing that you're not really alone, that there's this wonderful connection beneath the surface. Imagine, even right now, you and I, we've got these roots beneath the floor, beneath the earth, as if we're trees or plants, and these roots go deep down. And as we breathe, our roots grow and grow until they find each other, and even you and I become connected. You know, there's these trees that when one tree gets a disease or is ill of some tree disease that it may have, other trees and their roots connect to that tree's roots, and they send nutrients and they help heal that tree. Even beneath the earth, something that we can't see. Imagine that now. That the connection that you have that you can't see but you know is there with loved ones, even with people you may not know so well, it's there. It can help. You find some gratitude for that. Allow yourself to continue waking up more and more, doing what it is that your body needs to wake up more until you can be seated in a comfortable way, perhaps in Sukhasana or any other way. Keeping the eyes down, the face soft, maybe even the eyes closed, so the attention is still inward, not in the space around you, not even looking at me. Because this practice isn't about the space around you or me, the practice is about you. And I'd like you to bring your hands together and then give yourself spaghetti fingers. So all the fingers interlace. Let the thumbs come out and come together, index fingers and the pinkies. And then bring the thumbs towards the heart. Tuck the chin. Deep breath, breathing into the hands and breathing out. This is a mudra of compassion and love, understanding and grace. Let those things fill you and fuel you. Inhaling, I am loving. Exhaling, I am loving. Inhaling, I am compassionate. Exhaling, I am compassionate. Inhaling, I am full of grace. Exhaling, I am full of grace. Last one. Inhaling, I am kindness. Exhaling, I am kindness. Taking a moment to let it absorb. If you'd like, you can bow your head. If not, that's okay. I'd like you to thank you for letting me be part of your practice. I wish you peace. Shanti.